Hello, everybody. Welcome to this wonderful presentation. My name is Cecile Findi. I'm a Reiki master, and I'm here today to do a presentation. I hope you liked the video. So this video is has a very deep meaning for me. I'm gonna explain a little bit. First of all, I want to honor the space. I want to honor this community. And the song that I picked is from Benin, my country, West Africa. And it's about basically the pain that we feel when we lose someone that is very close to our heart. So I want to give a big thought from my heart to Shawnee, which allow me to be in this space. And so this is how I wanted to start this session with this song. I hope everybody's doing good. So today, this is a revolutionary talk. Why is it revolutionary? We're gonna start talking about, you see this fabric? This is indigo. So this one is actually from Burkina Faso. It's not from Benin, but it's still from
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together.
Greetings, everybody.
greetings.
Cecilia. Yes, that time.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody? Everybody's awake? Okay.
Stay woke.
All right. So welcome, everybody. Hi, my name is Cecile Fendi, and today we are here to have a revolutionary talk. We're talking about art, and we're talking about power. You see these two words, how powerful they are? So I'm so excited to be here this morning to talk to you about indigo. Look at this. Look at this beautiful fabric. All right, but there's more to it. So let's get started. I'm so excited. Okay, first of all, what is indigo? So I'm going to talk first about what it is. I think most of the community knows already, but for some of you who might be new to this community, you might not know what it is. So I'm going to explain. So indigo is a plant that is used as a dye, mainly on fabrics. Cheryl, can you show the first slide so people could see what it is, please? All right. So in this slide right here, you could see the women's on the market, right? So this is in Benin. And basically you see all the pigments. So the pigments are the powder that they use to make the colors, right? So indigo is one of them, is a plant, all right? I believe it was the only source of blue color in the ancient kingdom of Abomey. Abomey is in Benin, where you have low relief sculptures. So in the next slide, Cheryl, next slide, please. All right. So you could see, do you see the sculptures on the side? So this is in Abomey, in the ancient kingdom of Abomey, all right? So you could see these sculptures in the ancient royal kingdom, royal palace in Benin. So on the other side of the slide, you could see all the different plants that are used to make colors. And I believe back in the days, in the 18th, 19th century, they had very much, they didn't have as much options basically for the colors. They had a lot of natural pigments, like you can see in this picture. And indigo was the one that was used for blue, the color blue. All right, so now I'm gonna start explaining what this presentation is about, okay?
Cecile, before you go forward, can you say a little bit about the part on the left of that slide? What was that?
The sculptures? Oh, yes, this is my next topic. So basically the sculptures are very close to hieroglyphic language. So what you see, it's actually some type of language that each sign and each sculpture represent one king, all right? So it's very close to hieroglyphic letters or language. So we could say that there's a huge influence from Egyptian hieroglyphs. Therefore, I believe as a traditional color back then, all over West Africa, indigo was used to dye fabric, but also was used on mural art. So do you guys want me to explain a little more about the sculpture, or I can go ahead? I can go ahead. Okay. Next slide, please.
Yeah, you can go on.
So on this next slide, we're going a little bit further. No, that's not the next slide. Maybe go back. Yes, that's my next slide. All right. So now, no, there's one before. I'm sorry. The one before that. No. No. Okay, just keep going and I'll tell you when to stop. Maybe the slides got a little mixed up. Here we go. And then we go back to the one before. So no, this one, very good. Thank you, Cheryl. All right, so now we're gonna go a little bit deeper. So this is mainly, I'm gonna explain this slide a little bit. So this is the connection with a lot of different cultures. So I'm gonna explain what's going on in this picture. The murals that you see on the second picture, if you go from your left second picture, all right, with a lot of triangles, shapes, and diamond shapes. Okay, this is from a book by Margaret Courtney Clark, and her book is called African Canvas. So what is this book about? This book basically explains and shows a lot of West African women painting on their walls. So my presentation is to show you that I think traditionally it was indigo that was used for this type of paintings. And as we are going, like in modern times, people using many other different types of paint, like acrylic or oil or any type of paint that is more modern. I think at the beginning, it was actually indigo that was used, okay? So these paintings have deeper meanings. So most of the time, Margaret Courtney Clark will photograph these beautiful paintings made by women, right? So what I noticed studying this when I did my my master's degree in fine art, I noticed that they're really close to Dogon art. Who are Dogon people? Dogon people are people from Mali, all right? But you can also find Dogon people in Burkina Faso. So this picture that you have here is actually from Burkina Faso. And so I'm trying to show you in the pictures that it's linked with Dogon art from Mali, because Burkina Faso and Mali share the same people. As you might know about it, in Africa, you could have the same people in many different countries, because with colonization, the country was divided in a way that was not really according to the different people. So let's move on from that, and I can explain. Same slide. I'm staying on the same slide. Same slide, please, because it's very deep. I want you to understand the link with Dogon. So now I'm gonna explain more why it is linked with Dogon. First of all, did you notice the repetitive patterns on this painting? So you have a lot of triangles, a lot of repetitive geometrical shapes. And you can tell if you look at the picture at the far bottom left, this is Dogon art. So do you see how the patterns are exactly like, you could tell there's a real connection? All right. So I'm gonna explain now the deeper meaning of all these paintings. I believe the women express themselves and show actually there is a connection, there is a deeper meaning with the stars and astrology, because Dogon people were very advanced in terms of technology and in terms of their knowledge. All right. So now I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna go very deep. So please listen. Don't sleep, please. This is really, really interesting. So Dogon art is linked with the star Sirius. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but Dogon art actually is far more advanced than modern science. So I'm going to explain a little bit the conception of the universe by Dogon people. All right? Cut me if, Niamo, you cut me if you need more explanation. So this is how it started. The early story of the universe has to do with the struggle between Amma, the creator, and Ogo, one of her creations. Amma at the beginning was alone and was in the shape of an egg. Is the concept of the black hole. The four collarbones were fused, dividing the egg into the air, earth, fire, and water, all our elements, establishing also the four cardinal directions. Within this cosmos, egg was the material and the structure of the universe, and the 266 signs that embrace the essence of all things. So my people, this is really deep, and I hope you guys can research more about it, because I hope this is gonna bring healing to a lot of people, because knowing these connections is very important for us. to reappropriate who we are and where we are going. So the first creation of the world was, however, a failure. The second creation began when Amma planted a seed within herself, a seed that resulted in the shape of a man. All right? So I'm going to explain. Is everyone following? Yeah, this is deep. This is a little bit scientifical, little bit astrological. So
what I love about it,
yes,
Cecile, is that the description of the creation story that you gave is kind of picked up in the energy of the triangles and the
oh, very good, very
you
good,
know there's just energy being depicted.
good.
And I have a question about this slide that's on the lower left, the second one. Is that a painting on the wall, or is that a fabric being held, or because it looks like there's a tree growing or something? I can't tell if that's the painting of the building or if it's fabric.
No, all of it is mural art.
Okay,
There's
that's
no
all mural.
fabric. Yeah,
Thank you.
but I'm very glad you asking if it's a fabric, because it's actually linked. You see how everything is linked? It's actually really, really interesting. So let me continue. I hope you guys are following, and it's very important that you follow because there's a lot of knowledge in this presentation. So
Cecile,
yes,
Cecile, would they if you can review the egg scenario from the Dogon, right?
yes.
Because I think that we could use that review.
You need me to review it? I go back to the
Yes.
first, the first
Yes.
beginning of what I was saying? Okay. So
In terms of the egg, the universe.
okay. In terms of the egg, it's a concept of the black hole. Amma at the beginning, it's called Amma. Amma at the beginning alone was in the shape of an egg. All right? You guys are following? It's the concept of the black hole. The four collarbones were fused, dividing the egg into the air, earth, fire, and water, establishing also the four cardinal directions. Within this cosmos, egg was the material and the structure of the universe, okay? And the 266 signs that embrace the essence of all things. So now I'm gonna go ahead because I have much more to say. There is a lot of connections with a lot of ancient civilizations. So I'm gonna explain now the first connection with Egypt and the story of Osiris and Isis, okay? So he then descended as Amma transformed into the earth, the fragment of placenta that went with Ogo into the void. Ogo interfered with the creative potential of the earth by having incestuous relations with it. His counterpart, Nomo, a participant in the revolt, was then killed by Amma. Listen carefully, this is a connection with Egypt, and I know some of you know the story. Then killed by Amma, the parts of the body cast in all directions, bringing a sense of order to the world. When 5 days later, Amma brought the pieces of Niamo bodies together, resurrecting Nomo, and then Nomo became ruler of the universe. He created 4 spirits, the ancestors of the Dogon. Do you guys see the connection with Egypt? This is very deep. All right, let's continue. There's another connection that I want to make. Amma sent Nomo and the spirits to earth in an ark. And so the earth was restored. That's a connection with Judaism, okay? Along the way, Nomo uttered the words of Amma, and the sacred words that create were made available to humans, all right? Ogo was transformed by Amma into Yuguru, the pale fox who would always be alone, always be incomplete, eternally in revolt, ever wandering the earth seeking his female soul. All right, let's move on from this. Now I'm gonna talk more about the scientific. Everything I said has a deeper meaning. So be very careful and listen. Please don't sleep. This is really deep. I'm gonna talk about the 266 fundamental particles. So listen, please, carefully. The Po, which is defined in terms similar to those that describe the atom, all right? Seneces, which are described in form and behavior as being similar to protons, neutrons, and electrons, and whose nesting is recognizable as an electron orbit. So you could see that the creation of the world and the description is very much scientific and has to do with science. The germination of the Sene, whose drawn images are a match for the 4 types of quantum spin particles. The spider of the Sene, whose threads weave the 266 seeds of Amma, much as string theory tell us all matter is woven from strings. Do you see how deep this is and how scientific it is? So now I'm gonna give you a couple of more connection with science. The correct attributes of the unformed universe, that all matter was created by the opening of the universe. The spiraling galaxies of stars were formed when the universe opened. That the same event was responsible for the creation of light and time. The complex relationship between light and time, that matter can behave like a particle or as a wave. I can go on and on and on. I'm gonna say the most important, because this is very deep. I'm gonna say the most important. Some of what I said about the creation of the universe is linked with the DNA, is linked with the water cycle, is linked with how our cells reproduce. The cells reproduce by mitosis to form 2 twin cells. The correct sequence of events during sexual reproduction and growth of an embryo. So it talks about also our reproduction. That there are 22 chromosome pairs and that sex is determined by the X and Y chromosomes. All right? I hope you guys are following. Yes. All right, so let's continue. The germ cells reproduce by a process unique to themselves, the correct configuration and attributes of DNA. So as you can see, this is very deep. There is a clear implication of the Dogon myths and their apparent relationship to science is that at some point prior to 300, 400 BC, okay, mankind was the beneficiary of deliberate civilizing instruction presented, if the Dogon account is to be believed, by careful, well-meaning, knowledge-able teachers. And I can tell you that 300, 500 BC is a very important date in our, like in humankind history, because this is at the same time we had ancient Egypt, we had a lot of stuff happening in Mesopotamia, and you guys can research more about it because I'm just introducing my presentation with this, but please, please, please do your own research. What I just said is from a book called The Science of the Dogon by Laird, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Laird Scranton. I can share that if you guys email me after this presentation. So let's continue a little bit. I'm gonna continue. Next slide, please, Cheryl. All right, so this is a quote.
So you
This
know,
is a quote.
is managing the slides. Kinyofo.
All right. Oh, Kinyofo. I'm sorry. Kinyofo. Thank you, Kinyofo. So this is a quote by Cheikh Anta Diop. Cheikh Anta Diop is very well-known, I would say, scientist. Yes, very much a scientist. And if you don't know about him, please go read about his book called The African Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality. All right. So I'm going to let you 1 second read this quote, and then I can continue. I'm going to give you like 30 seconds.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask somebody to read it.
Sure.
Is
Very
someone
good.
volunteer? Dr. Kittenbrew, I saw you come off of mute. You want to do that?
Yeah, I can read it. I just, because I have to dash, but this is so important.
Yes, it is.
When we say that the ancestors of the Blacks who today live mainly in Black Africa were the first to invent mathematics, astronomy, the calendar, sciences in general, arts, religion, agriculture, social organization, medicine, writing, technique, architecture, that they were the first to erect buildings out of 6 million, tons of stone, the Great Pyramids, as architects and engineers, not simply as unskilled laborers, that they built, that they built the immense temple of Karnak, the forest columns, that forest of columns with its famed, is that hypostyle
Yes.
hall
Hypostyle, yes.
large enough to hold
Hypostyle.
Notre Dame and its towers, that they sculpted the first colossal statues, Colossus of Memnon, Arthur, Shep Antediop.
Very good. Thank you so much. So this quote is very important. It's very deep, and it connects a little bit everything I was talking about. And as you can see, next slide, please. Kinyofo, please, next slide. Very good. So Africa is our center of gravity, our cultural and spiritual mother and father, our beating heart, no matter where we live on the face of this earth. This is from Dr. John Henry Clark. So here we go. I'm going to introduce now for the first time my personal research. So my personal research was on the colors in the temples of Vodou in Ouida, where I come from. So I'm going to connect my presentation with Indigo in this way. I'm going to talk about the different colors that you can find in the temples in Ouida, and then I'm going to talk about Indigo. Why is it linked to Indigo? But before I do that, I need to link up everything I talked about with my culture. So I am from 2 different people in Benin. I have roots in Fon people and Yoruba people. I'm going to talk more about Yoruba people and who they are in this world. Okay, my name is Fendi. Fendi means Fa'odi. In my language, it means the oracle realized itself. I'm from a long line of Babalao. Babalao are people who predict the future. They are into divination. So now I'm going to talk about what is Ifa. Ifa divination is both a body of knowledge and a system of social, emotional, pathological control, employing relevant historical and mythological precedents containing in the special divinatory verses to be chanted or sung by the Babalao. So there is, by Cheikh Anta Diop, is telling us that Yoruba people are descendants of Egypt, ancient Egypt. Okay, that's the connection I wanted to do before we go further and I can share my presentation. So Ifa is very complex. Let me explain. It's operated by means of the configuration called Odu. In the Ifa corpus, you have 256 possibilities. So let me explain what I tell you by possibilities. When the Babalao used divination, he used a cowrie shell, he threw them on a plate, a wooden plate, right? So there is 256 possibilities that the Babalao, and he needs to know all these configurations. So I want you to understand, a Ifa priest is very wise. Like it can take you years and years and years and years to learn about Ifa. So each of them contain mythological stories which the Babalao narrates in the process of divination. So this is very deep and very complex, and it makes divination, numerology, astrology, there's so much knowledge in Ifa. So this is
let me just say something,
yes,
Cecile,
go ahead.
about how the knowledge comes out of the blue, the connection to indigo.
Okay.
The knowledge comes out of the blue.
Yes.
So I wanted to stay. Please help us to stay in the understanding that the Ifa is another expression, as the indigo is another expression, that everything comes from the universe, and that these are pathways and expressions that are related to one another. One is a rite or ritual, one is an understanding of spirituality, the next is the art that graces the homes, and then the science that supports it, that the Europeans say, oh, that's just what we found. So I just want to relate it to the indigo.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I am making the link with indigo at the end because my research is very much on the visual, because I'm an artist. So I'm talk more about colors, but I actually make the link at the end of my presentation with indigo, which has to do with the crown chakra. And of course, the blue color is knowledge and power. So I'm going to continue, if you allow me, with my study with the different colors. So you're gonna understand a little bit more what Vodou is and how I studied it. So this is my research now. Can we go to next slide, please? Very good. So please, no screenshot here. This is copyrighted. This is my own drawings. So please be respectful. All right, so this is where I wanted to start. So this is my personal study. The most frequent color in the temple is green. Where can you find green? You could find the chameleon is green. You could find jars with the base of the jar that is green. The leaves of the tree are green. Some snakes are green. The fabric worn by the certain people are green. According to Huno Robert, which is a person that is very important in Ouida because he's one of the leaders of Vodou. We had a conversation. So all the things I'm gonna say now is from our interview, an interview that I had with him. He said, the green is a great significance in our tradition. The keepers of the tradition of Vodou are also the keepers of the environment. That's why green is very present in the temples and in the paintings. We keep the forest safe. The trees help the environment and maintain the ecosystem so our harvest could be good. So you see, there is a lot of misconception about Vodou and what it is. It is a philosophy, and it is a way of living with nature that is very positive and environmental friendly. So I really wanted to insist on that with my introduction, because Vodou is often very much misunderstood. And I need you to tune in because this is very, very important. The next color I'm going to talk about is less common. It's red. It's found in certain representation of Achina. People who knows, people who don't know. So I invite you to do more research. But Achina is actually the representation of the fire element. It represented with huge balls that are carried on someone's shoulders, just like this. And it's made with red parrot's feathers. And it represents the fire elements. So most of the time in the temples, when you see red, it refers to the god of thunder called Hevioso for Fon people and Shango for Yoruba people. We notice the red sun and the crescent moon also in the temples, and it's associated with Maulisa. Who is Maulisa in Vodou? Is the God of the creation of the world. So if you guys know a little bit, if you notice a little bit what I said, there's a red sun and a crescent moon, all right? Creation of the world, masculine and feminine. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but on the walls of temples dedicated to Sakpata, Sakpata is the god of smallpox, and it is also very much linked with the earth. All right. So now I'm going to talk about another divinity that you guys might not have ever heard about it, because it's very much from Benin and it's very particular. It's a magical dwarf called Tohosu, that you can see depicted in the temples with a circle and with a dot in the middle. And sometimes this representation can be red. Tohosu is a genie child, and he has a horn in the middle of his head. So he went on the side of the river Azili, and he fell in the water. He saw Dan, which is the snake, the serpent, the god Dan, and then the Vodou Azili welcomed him, and he became his adoptive father, and his mom is Mau Adimula, okay? Tohosu is the divinity of water. Therefore, you have the circle representing rivers, lakes, and any water points, all right? I'm going to take your questions later. Bear with me, okay? I'm continuing with the color analysis because this is very important. Another misconception about Vodou, and that's why I'm only talking about the colors, all right? That was my analysis. There is a lot of misconceptions, so continue to pay attention to what I'm saying with the colors, because there's always deeper meanings in everything. The white is the color of Vodou. To signal the presence of a temple, we dress the flag with a piece of fabric attached to a bamboo stick. On the walls of Akahesu temple, a blue and white flag is drawn. During ceremony, all the people dedicated to Vodou are dressed in white to distinguish themselves, all right? So you have the white is the color also present in the temples dedicated to Sakpata and Tohosu. I'm gonna go a little bit further. Black is not really a color that we see often, all right? Because it expresses the anger of the god. I'm gonna pass to, I have more to say, but I think I'm running out of time because there's so much information. So please reach out to me if you want more analysis on the colors. But I'm gonna go to blue because that's the main color that we wanna talk about. The blue color is very commonly found in temples of Ouida. Why? Because the blue is for the ocean. So you find it in Huhue temples that is dedicated to Hu. Hu means ocean. And it's also part of the colors of the rainbow. So you can find it on the temples dedicated to Dan, which is the god snake, rainbow snake. So this is the sky, all right? So you see the blue color of indigo is linked to the ocean and is linked to the sky. So that's the two big connection with Vodou, all right? So I have something to say about the combination of colors existing in Vodou temples. And this is again, according to Huno Robert, the leader of Vodou in Ouida, where I come from. So the color combinations that you find in the temples that are most common, it's white, blue, white and black, red, black, and white. So certain fabrics are very particular to certain temples. One of them is called Klekuva. Klekuva is in the temples dedicated to Hevioso and Sakpata. Hevioso is the thunder, Sakpata is the earth. So each temple has combinations of colors that are unique and depend on the divinities that are present there. So you have to understand, in a Vodou temple, you could have as much as, I don't know, like sometimes 40, 50 divinities that we also call Vodou. So you have to understand, Vodou is the philosophy, is a way of living, but it's also the name of the different deities, divinities, whatever you want to call it, different spirits, okay? It's very important to understand how the word is used, all right? So I'm gonna go a little bit further now to talk about the deeper meanings of the blue color. So it represents the sky and the ocean, right? The blue color, this is the link with Reiki. My sister here is a Reiki master just as me. The blue color represents the, I think indigo is actually a combination of the throat chakra and our crown, you see? Because it's blue, but it's also purple, you see? So that's the combination of chakras that are involved in thinking about all these things, and the third eye, absolutely, my sister. And the goddess that I think about in Vodou that could be very much linked with this, with indigo, is Yemaya. Yemaya is the goddess of the ocean, all right? So it's symbolized, to me, indigo is power because it symbolizes the power of the divine feminine and her magnificence. Indigo is powerful because of the deep connection with spirits. That's what makes it so powerful. So to end a little bit on my presentation, I would like to say that our walls and our fabrics are adorned with indigo. Why not use it to reappropriate and harness this powerful force? So please, my people, create with blue indigo, draw with indigo, wear indigo, and reverse the curse. Use it as your power. So you can go to my last slide, please. Yes, this is what I spoke about with the different, the moon, and you could see everything I was talking about. So take a minute to take that in, because that's very important.
While everyone is taking that in, along with everything that you've shared, because it really gave us pretty much a snippet of a 10-week course.
Yes, absolutely. This is a presentation that should be in another, if I could say, in another setting, because I have so much to share. I have so much more pictures. I have so much more interviews, but that's okay. It's the first time I'm on this platform, so I'm so excited to share this with you.
We want to do what we do, which is, and we acknowledge that it's 3 minutes to 8 a.m. and we have acknowledge lots of people may be leaving at this time because they may
Okay.
have to work or whatever it is that their next endeavor is. So we want to acknowledge them and say thank you for coming this morning. And if you have questions or comments or further information, Cecile Niamo's information is going to be dropped into the chat, and you can reach out to them to get your questions answered and to go deeper and find out when Cecile's going to be teaching that 10-week course. So thank you for joining us this morning. And I want to encourage you also to make sure to check out the remainder of the presentation on Facebook in the replay. If you're not part of our private Facebook group, there's slides at the end of this for you to join it. And I think that can be dropped in the chat too, if you would, Z. Thank you very much. So we'll let you ladies continue from here.
All right. Cecile, were you wrapping up?
Yes, I was absolutely wrapping up my seats. I'm so sorry I took so long. Listen, I want to make the link. So I'm gonna explain to people how we make the link with you now. So I'm in charge of talking about the indigo and the roots with West Africa. And now I'm gonna let my beautiful sister Niamo talk about the other side of the story, more in the US. So here we go. Thank you so much for joining us, for the ones that are leaving, and please listen to Niamo now.
So it's really a pleasure to get the understanding of the meaning of the colors and how the indigo, the blue, has generated so much science and our creativity. And so other looking that complements what we've given. So here we go. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to read from the prologue of this wonderful book that we put in the chat earlier. I forgot the name of it already. Indigo, in search of whatever it is. It's just wonderful. And if I go back, I'll just have to find the name of the book. Let's see now. Indigo, in search of the color that seduced the world. And the prologue is just really rich with information, and you can listen it. I have a couple of visuals that we might get to, but really just hear how deep blue is. Okay. I also discuss this in my book, Light on Reiki and Neo-African Mysticism, which is under here. and I've shared this with the community before. And it's just important that we really have a total viewpoint of how important this indigo is to the world. So the writer, Catherine McKinley, begins by saying, blue is one of nature's rarest colors. Indigo, a dye obtained from the tiny leaves of small parasitic shrubs that are part of the Indigoferaceae tribe, creates the bluest of blues. For almost 5 millennia, in every culture and every major religion, indigo has been one of the world's most valued pigments. No color has been prized so highly or for so long, or been at the center of such turbulent human encounters. In the ancient trans-Saharan trade, whose peak extended from the 8th until the late 16th century, camel-powered desert ships carried indigo along with African captives, our ancestors, gold, salt, cola, and other sumptuary items like ivory and ostrich feathers to Mediterranean hubs where African, Arab, Asian, and European markets converged. Throughout the Middle Ages, Italians expanded this commerce across Northern Europe, where it was in great demand for textile manufacturing because of its superiority to European WOD, W-O-A-D, in color, fastness, and fiber compatibility. For art and decorative architecture, indigo was a rare, refulgent, and costly material used to express, as the contemporary Algerian artist Rachid Korechi says, the, quote, super-terrestrial, the path to the infinite. This idea was echoed in Christian, Islamic, and Jewish cultures, where it was used to symbolize the ancient caliphate, the royal court, the church and mosque, the canopy of heaven, and a holy person's robes. Indigo was used as a hair dye and an eye cosmetic in Europe. West African women rubbed it into their hair and skin, painted their bodies with it, and used it for tattooing and to enhance body cicatrization. It was burned as incense to ward off bad spirits. It was used as an antiseptic, a contraceptive, an abortifacient, a cure for syphilis, and its root was regarded as a powerful sexual stimulant. Bodies were tattooed with it for healing purposes, particularly at the joints, as relief from arthritis. Indigo tinctures are used for eye infections and as salves for wounds. But as much as it was used for mysticism and healing and for beauty, West African women in particular wielded great social, political, and cosmological power as renowned master dyers and traders, and their indigo wealth became cornerstones of ancient empires and 20th century anti-colonial movements, shaping the course of history and world economics. For Europeans in the Middle Ages, indigo, referred to by some as blue gold, had great value, and like chocolate and coffee and silks, it caught the imagination of connoisseurs and merchants and colonialists who drove a global market in search of the bluest blue. Because of the distance that had to be traveled to obtain the dye stuff, the strange and difficult alchemy necessary for its production, its power to bewitch, and its transcendent beauty, the value and demand for indigo became ungovernable. It threatened local WAD, that's that word again, W-A-D, production, sparked bitter trade wars, and touched off impassioned European and North American legislation and to political debate. It became known as the devil's dye. After the collapse of indigo profits in the United States, India's production of indigo in the Rajshahi region was so lucrative that villagers were forced to harvest the plants by means of terror and torture. It was said that no indigo box was dispatched to England without being smeared in human blood. And resistance to that tyranny sparked a 2-year peasant revolt, the Indigo Revolt of 1859, that Gandhi joined as his first civil action. The revolt brought a final end to the mass cultivation of indigo in the colonies. Indigo was a cornerstone of the transatlantic slave trade. One of the hidden commodities, like cotton, sugar, salt, and gold, that fueled European colonial empires and compounded the extraordinary wealth and power of African ones. It grew wild along the southern coast of the United States. In the mid-1700s, Eliza Lucas, a 16-year-old daughter of a South Carolina plantation owner who was trained as a botanist, was given indigo seeds and soon discovered that her slaves had skill with indigo cultivation and indigo dye production. Aware that indigo was in great demand in European textile industries, coveted by gentry, soldiers, and workers alike, and that U.S. indigo would be cheaper than imports from Africa and Asia, Lucas convinced other planters to cultivate it. She is credited with introducing a crop more profitable than rice, which, because it had properties to repel mosquitoes carrying malaria and yellow fever that caused the deaths of slaves, then 2/3 of the population of the Carolinas, had inestimably higher returns. By the eve of the American Revolution, when cubes of indigo replaced paper currency, South Carolina planters were exporting 1.1 million pounds of indigo to Europe, nearly $30 million today. The war would mark the beginning of the weakening of American indigo profits, also hastened by the invention of the cotton gin in 1794. They put 1974 in the book, but that's wrong. We know that. It must have been 1794. The rapid industrialization of textile manufacturing that followed was spurred by that and earlier inventions like the spinning jenny and the flying shuttle and the water power and Watt's steam engine and the introduction of non-indigo synthetic blue dyes. Indigo's great profitability would altogether collapse by 1800, and the European hunger for indigo would turn to India, creating the conditions that led to the 1859 Indigo Revolt. But indigo was not only the obsession of merchants and politicians and those seeking profit. The peculiar magical alchemy of the indigo dye pot has dazzled and excited artists and scientists alike and thinkers alike. Sir Isaac Newton spoke of indigo as, quote, visible yet immaterial, the color purest in meaning, with the power to negotiate the two spheres of God and man. Goethe mention of it in The Sorrows of Young Werther, incited a fashion craze, making it de rigueur for romantic young men to wear indigo coats over yellow pants in the 1780s. It inspired paintings by Bonnard and Matisse, who were both fascinated with indigo. Matisse famously used West African textiles in which indigo figured prominently as backdrops to many of his most significant portraits. And indigo has provided endless inspiration to American jazz and blues and cultures they inspired. And all this is just part of its little-known legacy. Now, did you all hear that? Whoa.
This is so
Wow.
powerful, Niamo. This is
Say that
very
again?
powerful. This is
Yes.
very powerful. I hope people are not sleeping because this presentation is fire, people. Listen, powerful.
Yeah, and it's, everything is in the perspective of writers, right? And
Absolutely.
what
Absolutely.
your presentation.
Niamo, you're frozen. So any
It's gonna
interim,
come back. It does that sometime.
yeah, I wanted to ask you
Did, yeah.
any questions or comments for what has been shared so far. There's been a lot of information, and I want to just kind of hear what the community has to say and what they're getting from what you guys have shared. So I don't see any hand raised.
Well, I answered some questions. Oh, I just heard something.
Mame Shambe, can you hear me?
Oh, Chambay.
I just want to say, wow. Oh my goodness. Asante, Asante, Asante. That's the first thing. I am a part of Seasoned Indigo Sisterhood. And I called up my sisters when I found out about this to say, hey, we need to be on this. We are Indigo. And I tell you, I have learned so much. All I need to know is when is the course from both of you and how do we sign up?
It's coming. It's coming. Just sign up.
I want to know, is there a book that you have written on this?
Who's speaking right now? We can't see.
Amina, I'm sorry, Amina. Is there a
Amina.
book that you have written on this?
No, there's not a book that I have written. Several books that we have cited in the presentation are listed in the chat. Maybe you came
Right.
afterward, but the book I was just
Okay.
reading from was Indigo, and it has a long title. That's why I keep forgetting it.
Hmm.
But you can almost go and look up the different just Google Indigo, but it's here. We did mention it. I'm just gonna go to the title again because it's long. I don't know why.
Hmm.
Indigo, in search of the color that seduced the world, is the name of
Mm-hmm.
this
And
book. Okay,
okay.
I'm
And
going to right now share my screen if I can to just show you some more pictures of how indigo shows up, to give you some more understanding of how it's generated, and to let you know that when we talk about how African people have fueled the success of the world,
Absolutely. Very
we're
powerful.
not we're not just
Don't
talking
leave
about
yet.
cotton. We're
Don't
not
leave.
talking
Don't,
about
don't leave
cotton.
yet. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now Marina's has a question, and before we leave, we'll get the questions before I go to these share. Marina's.
Hi. So it's less of a question and more of a comment. I'm just so very grateful. I've seen you present once, but I didn't know about the book, so I just went to your website. I'd like to purchase it because I'm also into Reiki. I do Reiki. I do sound healing. So I'm also initiating ceremony. So it's like I have all these different modalities that I use, and I do Kundalini yoga, but I'm not a practitioner. And then when you find out more information about how Kundalini yoga actually like and Reiki was in Africa too, and how it's been like transformed, it's so
Yes.
interesting. And I work with the Sirius constellation, especially around portals, and it's so powerful. And I know about the Dogon tribe because I've studied it a little bit, and then I have a
Very
friend from
good.
Mali. So to see it on a different level and also learn about it, like with Ifa, because a lot of my clients are like into Ifa, and I don't know too much about it. So this was just such a beautiful way also of learning
Thank you.
about the different aspects. And then also like as I try to deconstruct capitalism in my own programming and hearing how like, they tell us one way of how black people in colonization help, but there's so much more to it. So I'm just super
Absolutely.
grateful. I definitely want to rewatch it because it was so much. And again, I
Yes.
also like to know more information on how I could learn more. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So Dr. Kenny Bruce has a question
Yes,
now.
it's more of a comment, and I'm in my
Okay.
car. But I just wanted to say how powerful this presentation was, and how interconnected everything is. So
Yeah.
I'm a priestess of Ifa, and also a Batala, but have a whole history of the connection, right, from my mother's side and other sides, and just even when we read books that aren't specifically written in the African mindset, as the one that you may have mentioned, Niamo, if you could see that connection, once you have the foundation, right? Now we have foundation for indigo. And now whenever I hear or read about indigo, I will know, where it's from, right? And so I think that's so powerful, and how we're all connected. And so the spirituality is connected, and it survived the diaspora, it survived colonialism, and we're keeping it alive today. And I just want to say very quickly, here's my indigo, that a sister, when I was in Nigeria, she actually, I saw her doing, she does it, right? Stirs the pot, boils it, and the whole bit. And I never thought, like, I was drawn to indigo, but I never knew why. And finally, when Naima, when you read the book, you mentioned someone's name, Eliza Lucas. That's my grandmother and my great grandmother's name. They're from South Carolina. I'm sure that woman was European, but there's a connection. And so I have been looking
to try and figure out where this connection was. And it opened it up for me. So it was just divine revelation. And you all are dropping divine revelation, and you just don't, we may not be aware of it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I got to go teach a class, but thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm waiting for the book. I'm waiting for the week course. I expanded it from 10, and I just can't express enough how important this was. And it's a seed that I'm sure will continue.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kennebrew. And, you know, to emphasize, blue and colors, which is why my sister Cecile was so inspired to go into the Vodun about the colors. This is the first technologies. Colors are the first technologies. So, you know, it's like we got to pull ourselves back from stuff and realize why is it that this is important.
Why we are so drawn to it also.
That's why we're so drawn to
why
it.
us as a people, we are so drawn to that color. It's because there's a deep connection to spirit.
Let me share with you in the chat, in the screen. Let's see now. We can just show some of the, I'm going to show the cover of this book, and then we'll just go to the section that has all the wonderful slides on it. But this is the cover of the book, Indigo in Search of the Color That Seduced the World, by Catherine. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to take it off, but there it is. And it's, you can see for yourself right there. Okay, if you want to screenshot that, you're welcome. Now I'll go to the plate section. I have the plates separately, but I think that since I'm in the book, I don't want to go back and forth and take up too much time. So here we are in the plates section, and this is, let's see if it'll expand. This is how the indigo can look in terms of the royalty of it, right? Now, sister, you came, Nsombe, you came, and I said to myself, what we should do is put stuff on our faces. I had it. I saw you. I knew it. I knew you would be here. Because I said to myself, I saw it just like that. I saw it right around last night. I saw it. So you're here.
And I purposely unwrapped my hair because when I wrap, it covers part of my face. And I normally always keep my head wrapped. But I said, no, this morning I need my adornments showing.
This is the download that you're allowing into your headspace. So I just wanted to share. Let's see if it'll move up. I'm trying to make it go to the next picture. I don't know why it won't. Oh, maybe because it's large right now. Okay, good.
Beautiful.
Now the next one is just how the indigo pots look. This is how they look, you know. And there's some indigo fabric being, laid out to dry. Okay, that's the indigo wells. And just not going to spend too much time. This is a deep one. It's not in color, but this is Malinki dyers. And the reason I'm doing this is because the one right here on the extreme right, you can't see her, but she has a pound in her, she has a staff in her hand, and she's actually pounding the indigo to get it more, to get the shiny aspect of it. Now, look at this mama. This lady is looking at the photographer saying, you think you're going to take this from me? No, you're not. No, you're not. This is our history, and I know what you're doing, but you're going to see me again, okay? And she's right. So I just thought we should acknowledge that. And this is not in color. There's one of these in color. It's a sister in indigo finery in Mali. Then there's some sister from Senegal, 1910, a Wolof woman. All of that is actually blue. Now here is a brother, Abu Bakr Fofana, in his studio, and it's more contemporary. He's a indigo enthusiast of today. And he has two residences, one in France and one in Mali. And he goes back and forth studying the depths of the indigo. Now, if you recall, that first picture that Cecile showed had green leaves on the side. It's just a plant. So did you see the green leaves, and you see how he's rubbing it? And this is young indigo leaves crushed in the hand of Brother Abu Bakr. And okay, oops. All right. So it's also used as a
So Niamo freezes from time to time due to her internet.
okay. All right.
Yeah, there you are.
Sorry about that. Okay. I'm trying to get this to move over, but it's not cooperating with me. Okay, so now you can see you know, indigo being sold in the marketplace. That's what it looks like. I'm trying to move this over and it won't. But that's what can you say? It just won't do what it's told. Okay, so all right, let's see. There's some adire seller. That fabric is called adire when it's made into lengths, two-yard lengths. And here's a sister and her sword. This is Aunt Mercy. I sent a quote from her that maybe we'll get to. So she has her indigo garments on the wall there. This is a woman, Susan Wegner Aduni, also known as Aduni, a European who went into the hinterland to just study herself. And she's from Europe. And she lived in Nigeria. And she's wearing her indigo. She was a believer. This was all about the special dress that it contained indigo that people would wear. And now these are designs that have been made using indigo dye, natural dye. I want to get to some of the people that are going to come after this. Okay. Okay. It's just really stunning. And as you could see, these same symbols, you mentioned the star and the moon earlier. Okay.
It's
Vintage
absolutely what I
Yoruba
mentioned.
adire. Now we come to the Fulani men wearing the indigo. There's a certain name for this, and they do it to, you know, keep out the sand as well as other stuff. They have it on their faces where only their eyes are showing.
Protects from the heat, protects from the heat also.
From the heat, of course, of course. And this is a woman who has it in the back. You can't see the front of her, a Tuareg woman. Now here it is in the scarification as well as a wrap. This is a Hori Yoruba woman with tattoo scarifications wearing the indigo wrapper. Okay. All right. So there you have some of the ways that indigo has shown up, and it is amazing. It is amazing.
It's a very deep subject. Yeah.
I'm going to just say these two quotes that I sent you all before, you and Cheryl, and it basically, indigo has this exquisite symmetry with death. It covers everything. Its dark, inexplicable power will reach into every fiber, catch every hair, grab the skin. Its print is sure and indelible. Its stain transcends everything. Now, the woman quoted the black woman, Aunt Mercy in the book, in the one of the people I just showed you. She says, "Blue is stronger than black," Aunt Mercy told me, holding the doggone cloth against the arm of her house girl, whose skin was dark and poreless like black porcelain. One is darker, but in a very dark room, you still can reach out for the walls. The deepest night will be alive with light. The stars are more visible then. The stars are more visible then. Blue-black holds infinity. Blue-black is never done.
Infinity.
It's never done. Now you know why the sky is blue. All the shades. From Cecile's earrings to the color of my favorite dress. I was going to wear it, but you wouldn't see the beauty if I wore it, right? Yes. Are there any questions and comments and inspirations that folks want to share with us?
Niamo, there was something that you shared with me privately in onboarding you about police officers. I want you to share it here, please, and then I'll take questions and comments.
Oh, okay. So maybe it wasn't emphasized enough in that reading how blue became the color of power and royalty. In fact, when I was growing up, I used to love navy blue. I was very happy with navy blue. I didn't wear black at all. But navy blue was just really, really important. And so what you want to know is that many police agencies in this country use the color blue for their officers and their police departments. There's public security, what do they call it? Public safety officers. And it's because blue commands power. When you study blue crystals, study blue. Use your lapis lazuli, you know? Study the meaning of when people wear blue, what they're saying. In business, blue means power. In New York City school systems or regular police department system, blue means power. That's why they choose blue, navy blue, dark blue. Blue on the navy meant we are powerful. The British Navy. That's what navy is. A power color. That's the meaning of it. What else? Was that, I think that was it, Cheryl. I think that was it, my sister. That blue was only worn by royalty in Europe.
Absolutely.
And that, now I'm saying blue, but that's really, we really got to say indigo, because indigo gives us purple and blue. That's why I have that on.
It's between blue and purple.
Yeah.
It's in between.
That's right. And it has the black with it.
Absolutely.
It has the black with it. And you have to let it develop. Oxygen actually develops the color.
Yes.
If you take it out quick, it's a light blue. And there's a whole philosophy around the vats, the VAT, vats, that traditionally, like that brother Abu Bakr from France and Mali, he's actually into, like, you know, when the vat is finished, like a whole life, he has personalities for his different dyeing bowls or vats. And it's very, very, you know, it's a technology. We got to understand it as an early technology that some people are maintaining or bringing back into recognition as something that we should honor. So it got us here. It got them there. You know, they recognized that the slaves could do this. We knew what this was. We knew what to do with it. There's so much hidden in that one sentence that I read, that this teenager, 16 years old, knew the slaves, realized the slaves knew what to do with indigo. That's all it was. One little sentence. Those women were probably dying and wearing blue, and people said, "Oh, wait a minute, give it back." Stories that have not been told, that maybe you on here are going to tell.
Awesome. So I'm present to the idea that once upon a time there was well, not even once upon a time, perhaps even now, royalty has been called blue blood.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
The blue blood.
There's a reason why.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that came to me. There's a lot of blue words. Think of them. Maybe someone can come up with them in the chat. There's a lot of blue words that relate to that kind of thing.
Yes. But it's linked to us. That's where we reappropriate who we are and why we are so powerful. That's the meaning of this whole presentation. Reappropriate. And that's why this talk is very revolutionary, because we want to take that back. It was taken from us. So now we're saying we're here and we are powerful.
Sure.
All right. There
So-
is Jolisa has took herself off of mute. I'm not sure if that means she wants to speak or if that's just because she.
I see that Adam has said something too in the chat that I'm answering. Oh, Marines, you just mentioned Marines, Kenyofu?
No, I'm saying I saw Jolisa come off of mute before Marina's hand went up. So I just wanted to acknowledge, and also Amina, I saw her hand go up. I mean, her mute come off. So sometimes it means they want to speak. So I'm not hearing.
No, I was just listening, lady. Sorry. Good morning.
Good morning, Lisa.
Hi.
All right, so Marina's.
I just wanted to say that when you were speaking and you said out of the blue, it just hit me in a different way, because you know, as blue is used for, is associated with the psychic chakras and the upper chakras. I was just thinking that, like, oh, out of the blue, like, oh, I got this idea out of the blue. And I just thought that was like, whoa, I've never considered it like that. So thank you.
Wonderful. Now that you have that consideration, right here, everything comes out of the blue. Everything. Sky. We came out of the blue. Make the connection. Okay? Make the connection.
Sky, the ocean.
Yeah.
All the souls that were like lost in this vast ocean. So you guys see all these connections. It's very deep, very, very deep.
Oh,
and I hope it's very much healing. Yeah.
And healing, of course.
So
right.
Adam?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Let Adam speak. And then there are comments from Facebook also that I wanted to read. So
okay.
Then when we can.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Nancy, you brought up the fact that the Navy and the police department used the color blue. In their eyes, the color blue symbolizes masculinity. That's another reason why they use the color blue. And when I also think of the color blue, I also think of water and what it does to our body from a male perspective.
They will tell you that it's masculine, but actually it's powerful. It's power. That's what it really means when they say that.
Exactly.
Means power. Masculine. I mean, you can't create babies with it, but it means power. It means agency. Like the waters of the sea and the ocean. It's powerful. Everything. You don't have stars unless you have blue-black behind it. Sun doesn't rise. You don't see anything unless you see the blue behind it.
Okay, so Carolyn.
Thanks,
Thank
Adam,
you.
by the way.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Great morning to everyone. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. If at first it was like, it was so much to get and to grasp. And I was thinking, I need more of that, because I can't, it's so hard to just like take it and put it into perspective so early in the morning. But as I listened, first thing that stood out was when you spoke about the egg. That's what really just kind of made everything sink for me. When you began to speak of the egg and the hole, the black hole, and then you made reference to a parting in four, the first thing I saw was in the embryo, when they talk about the zygote, and I'm talking about conceptualization, like when the babies are being born. You understand? The first thing that happens, the cell splits into two and then it splits into four. That was the visual that came to me. And I was like, I knew exactly where you were going with it. And everything else made sense after that. I'm very visual. And then when you spoke about the 266, like my son and I were just talking about Ifa and Babalaism and all of these things. And I'm not, I remember a long time ago, I began the journey when I was in New York, and I left New York and I left all of that behind, went into the church, and all of that I renounced. And here I am all these years later, right back where I started in my younger years. And it's definitely something that I would love to speak to you more about, both of you, and dive more into. The other thing was when I'm looking at a picture my sister made for me one, before she left a long time ago, and it's a picture of a woman. If I may show it really quickly, it's two things. So when I was in art a long time ago, I did a picture, and we joked about it. We called it the booty people, because it was all people like walking on the sun, like in the ethers. However, that picture, it was all blue. And I was tasked to do this art thing. I couldn't draw, and I made all these little people with just necks and legs, but they were walking on in the ethers, and it was all blue. And then this is the picture my sister made for me.
Wow.
And when she
powerful.
was leaving, I was giving it back to her. She said, "No, this is you." And so I just wanted to show you that just sits with me in my house next to my plants. And so I really just want to thank you. I'm gonna turn my camera off because I'm not ready, but I just wanted to thank you because you sparked a lot for in my writing, you sparked a lot in my thought process, and I'm really interested in connecting and learning more. Definitely.
That's amazing feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yes,
you
that's
both.
that's
Thank you
that's
both.
that's why we are doing this, is to inspire our people to heal. And you
Yes.
just showed that it's really healing. Thank you so much.
All right, so I have some messages from Facebook. Kaisha, she says, great lessons on this day of manifestation, 2/22/2022.
Absolutely.
Teresa Plaskett says, so interesting. There are many stories of creation predating what is in the Bible, and that the creation story is both male and female versus the male dominant narrative I've grown up with. Robin St. Clair says, powerful information. This is a whole history lesson, sure.
Absolutely.
Jacqueline says she wore navy blue suits when she interviewed for administrative positions.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking to see what else there is in the chat. From Facebook again, Robin St. Clair says, oxygen is needed. That's the breath. This is awesome, ladies. And Jem from Facebook says, in music, we talk about the blues.
That's right.
And she also says, baby boys are dressed in blue.
Yes.
Nefer says, what do you say dark matter has blue in it?
Mm-hmm.
I answered in the chat. I said, what or why? Either way, dark is consistently maligned and demonized by the mainstream. Mm-hmm. So, and the reason has to do with light and the rhyming with white, the alliteration with light and white. And so if we follow, but then they got to go to night, you see. They got to go to night. And so that's the blue black. But they demonize it. They make it separate. It's one of the early ways that they try to separate. But there's really the oneness that this all indicates. It's something I was going to mention from, I think, the baby boys are dressed in blue. Can't remember what it was now.
Touch on the oxygen.
Oh, the oxygen. Yes, I wanted to mention oxygen being needed. The exposure to the air is needed, and it's accelerated with the addition of the ash and the salt and the baking soda and other natural chemicals are used to accelerate and make fast the color blue, and then they lay it out, and the longer it's exposed to oxygen, the deeper it gets. The longer it's exposed to the air. And oxygen is very, very important in having. So that's breath, you see. That's why it's metaphysical. That's why we're going there. The breath is important to having the blue develop. And it's important in development of our chakras and the blue being here.
Breath work allows us to Ascend. Mm-hmm.
That's right. I see what Catherine said, and what also you, Carolyn, I see you said oxygen comes up as blue on infrared. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Of course. And also the blue light, or the violet flame in
Absolutely.
Reiki, also in
Mm-hmm.
Japan, is called the violet light.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
all
called
of this
different
is,
names, but it's all the same concept. Mm-hmm.
and then Catherine said, I was taught that all of things are revealed and learned in the night and dark. That's why we must sleep and take our time sleeping, and really just let
So
ourselves.
April, Ship, I see that you had shared that beautiful picture. Did you want to say something about that? Please share with us the origins of that picture and a little bit more about it. And in the meantime, while she's getting herself ready, I see a hand from Mama Robin. Yeah, Robin.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, ladies. Y'all got me all excited up in here that I'm watching on Facebook and I have to get on. I want to thank you for this conversation, and I actually want to share my camera, but I don't want you to see me, so I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
You must be seen.
No, sir. No, sir. But I am in my shrine room, so I'm trying to. I don't know how to turn my camera around. Do it like this. Can you see this? Can you see this? This is called Opon Ifa, and this is one of the things that not just Babalawos, but also Ianifa, the woman, also divine in Ifa, and we use this Opon Ifa to divine. And if you see, it is round, the same way that you talked about the beginning, Cecile, and we also use when we're divining this other tool that is called Irukere. And you see, this is like the penis, this is like the vagina. And so we always have the yin and the yang when we're talking about anything, any kind of divination. And in addition to that, I loved the reference that you both used to, now I'm trying to turn it off. I love the reference that you both used to, I think Niamo was talking about the sky and the ocean. I don't know which one of you said it, but as above, so below. And so just bringing all of this information into balance is just so beautiful, where the ocean is the most powerful. And I don't like to single out female or masculine when we're talking about this, but when we're talking about the feminine and masculine energies, the moon is the most powerful female energy. And when it's next to Yemoja, the most powerful energy below, then when they connect, then you're in that air and the breath. And y'all just got me all excited because I'm like, yes, yes, yes. So there needs to be some kind of course. I would definitely join. I'm grateful for the energy. And as I said, I was watching on Facebook, look a hot mess, but I'm very grateful for all of this energy and this information. So thank you, ladies.
Robin. Thank you.
Sure.
Can you hear me? This is April Ship, April Lanou.
We hear you.
Good morning. I'm late to the party this morning, but I'm enjoying the conversation. I'm a fiber artist living in Michigan, and I just made that piece. And I don't know why I made her blue. I made her indigo. It's my daughter for upcoming show. And I thought, I'm going to make my daughter purple or indigo. And this is so interesting that you're talking about this very subject today. So I wanted to just share that with you. I'm just so excited about the conversation. I'm going to mute myself back. Thank you.
Before you mute yourself,
connected. Thank you.
Before you mute yourself back, let's see the picture again. Go ahead and share it.
Okay, I'm on my cell phone. I'm going to try to share it again if I can. I'm surprised you saw it that time because I'm a novice when it comes to this. Let me see if I can do this again.
Let's talk about indigo people now. The whole indigo children movement. It's always been about the secrets of Black people energy. That's why the subtitle of my book is Neo-African Mysticism, because there's something that we have been blessed with, the grace of the Creator in these many technologies showed us our way toward freedom. And so the whole indigo thing is really who we have been all along. But now they say, oh, this child is a polymath. They know how to do all kind of stuff and they're very, very bright. And then they call it an indigo child. We are the indigo people.
That is so, so beautiful.
Thank you so much. And she's made, it's actually dark purples and blacks. And I was playing with them and they're so, this is cloth. This is all fabric. This is fabric. I'm a fiber artist.
I love it. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, Robin. I see what you wrote.
Wow.
I had to put the yellow, of course, put the yellow in there for her Pele, but this is my daughter. And I just, yeah.
Thank you for presenting us with that. So radiant and beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being
Niamo,
hydrated. They drink a
you
lot
can
of water.
release that, Niamo, and then we can
slightly
take the
dehydrated.
last couple for comments and then we can
thank you, everybody.
Yes, let me inject a few things. There are, I feel the participation and the desire for people to participate in the audience, and people are coming off of mute. I don't know if that means that you want to speak. What I'm asking you to do is to raise your hand. There's a digital hand, and that really helps to keep some semblance of understanding of what's needed. There are two, it is 8:49. I want to bring our attention to that. And we have two hands up, and it feels like there's two other people that wanted to share that have not put their hands up. That would be Nsombe and maybe Amina. I don't know if it's a mistake, but if you want to speak, put your hand up, and we will need to cut this off in a few minutes. So Celia.
Yes. Oh, sorry, someone talking. I'm sorry.
Celia, you want to share?
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I was just wondering. So this has been very interesting and I've learned a lot. But I was thinking of the other connection to blue, where we would say, I feel blue, and it would mean that you're sad. The blues, sad songs. So what is the upside of this? Because blue, from what I'm learning here, is all powerful and what it means. So how did the connection come to blue in that other light? Meaning sad and I'm having a blue day. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, and the way that occurred, one of the ways is if you read literature, European English literature, when someone is blue, they are really near death.
Oh.
And so it's an allusion to being near death for those who are European. And it has entered the lexicon such that, it's been co-opted, misappropriated.
Okay. Understood.
European
Thank
distortion,
you.
absolutely. Distortion, yes, absolutely.
Yes, right word, yeah, distortion, yes, that does really explain this.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Catherine and Kojo?
Yeah.
Catherine?
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. Sorry, hopefully I'm not scare anybody.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of my workout.
Okay.
I wanted to say how powerful this presentation is. And from what I've always learned, my family of healers, I've shared the story a couple of times. My mom had when she was about, I think, 14, she had an infection sort of on her leg, and it was growing so rapidly and fast that, during the time of segregation, of course, not the best hospitals, et cetera. And so they were going to amputate her leg just to cut it off because it was just growing so fast. But the family story goes that my aunt Sissy, my great aunt Sissy, went out in the night, right? She went out in the night in the field and got this huge leaf and wrapped my mother's leg in the night. And by the time she woke up that morning, which was the morning of the surgery, that the leaf had withered, dried up and withered, and the infection was gone. And none of the doctors could explain it. They couldn't figure out what was happening. But in my family, the night has always been really powerful. It is a time to pray. If you are awakened, if you're gifted with we all have the gift of dream. So that is our power. And 3 a.m., if you are blessed enough to be woken at that time, you are to pray. It is praying time. And so I've always had that connection with the indigo sky.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much for that.
Peace. Okay, yeah. I just want to say thank you. This is a super powerful presentation. Resonates with me so much. I mean, I just said to my wife, who just spoke when I was walking out the door. When I first went to my first time ever going to West Africa to Guinea, I was like immediately once I saw the indigo material and things, the indigo dye, I was like, yo, I gotta get that right there, and just like I've always had, huge pieces of cloth that I end up giving away. Ironically, no, not ironically, as a matter of fact, giving away to the women of my family. I always end up giving it away to the women of my family. So I gotta get me some more and give it away. So I thank y'all for this wisdom and knowledge and insight, and definitely I'm looking forward to hearing about your class and tapping in. And you know what? It also just represents, I think it represents a shift for our young brothers or our brothers in that wear the blue flag. We can give them this wisdom and knowledge around the color blue. It'll help shift the energy maybe, of their mentality, our Crip brothers, and bring them back to the origin of what the organized street gang movement was, with the Crip meaning community revolution and progress, as opposed to this just being in the street, carrying on with the murder and mayhem. So I think we need to get this wisdom and knowledge out to the young brothers.
Whoa.
I'm complete. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You spoke it. Self-generate that thing. Self-generate that thing.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Peace and blessings.
Yes, and he had given the fabrics that he collected to the women in his family, because it's the women who cultivated it mostly.
Absolutely.
In the presentation. And so it's a womb. This darkness is the color of the womb, the inside of the womb concept also. That's why I say everything comes out of the blue. It's like saying everything comes out of a baby. Everything is birthed from somewhere. So I am complete. And it's been a pleasure being here. So Cecile, you are too, right?
Yes, I am absolutely complete. Thank you so much for the wonderful feedbacks. You guys made both our days, and I feel so blessed, so blessed, so blessed. Thank you so much.
Niamo, you can read your contact information.
So this is how, thank you. This is how you get in touch with me. I'm a Reiki teacher, and my number's there. You can look up the Healmobile. That's my something with Healmobile is going to come up on every social media, and these are my numbers. Instagram at the Niamo the Healmobile, LinkedIn and Twitter at Healmobile, Facebook. I have another page too, but right now we'll begin with Niamo, Nancy Muid, and Healmobile. And
Yeah, I think Niamo froze again.
So that's it.
Okay, you all can screenshot this.
Yeah, if you want. Sure.
Can you speak to your special offer?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm also a Reiki practitioner. So the first 3 people to email me will receive what you can see, Reiki session. There's one person who's gonna have a Reiki session, another person gonna have a woman coaching session, and another person is gonna have a free gift from my products. I have healing products.
Can you share what they are?
I don't know yet. I have a slight idea, like the products or what?
Yes. Yeah. What are your healing products?
I think my okay, so I do sprays. I have many different things. I do candles. I do salt baths. There's many different products. So I don't know yet which one. I didn't decide yet which one I'm gonna give. But
no, yeah, that's fine. Just want to know what you do in general.
oh,
So
what I do.
people.
Okay, so my you can see on my website my products and what I offer. Also in the next slide, okay, I was waiting for this. So this is how you can get in contact with me on Facebook, Instagram, and you could check also my website to see more about what I do. And please feel free to contact me. I know my presentation was very, very dense, and it was on purpose. It was to inspire healing. So please reach out to me with any questions. I feel very blessed to have shared this presentation with you today, and thank you. And please, okay?
Go ahead.
Yes, I was about to say, and please support the organization, Wake Up Everybody, and send your donations directly to the information on the screen. And don't forget to put the code of today that is linked to this session today. And I thank you very much because we need support.
And the code specifically is 528 N as in Nancy, M as in Muid, C as in Cecile, and F, and F as in Findi. NMCF. All right. So tomorrow, Wednesday, I'd like for you to come back to listen to Merrill McGee. Her topic is Curiosity, Rigor, and Discipline, Leadership Lessons from My Grandparents. And on Thursday, the 24th, we'll be joined by Catherine and Bali Green Johnson, who we heard in her share. And her topic is Revolutionary Love, Your Rage is Your Gift. So new members, if you're out there, let us know, drop your comment that I'm new inside of the Zoom chat, also inside of the Facebook comment section. We really want to know who you are. We want to welcome you, and we want to invite you to come back, to keep coming back. Thank you for joining us. So we're here 5 days a week on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 8:30, and on Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 7:30. Always Zoom. We're always on Zoom, and we're always streaming live on Facebook. And if you would like to receive your text alert, automated text alerts in the morning to wake you up and get you on, you can open up your text right now, and you're gonna type in 74121 in the to section and type in Woo Nation in the comment section, press send, and you'll be on your way. We have swag. Please visit the store bit.ly/Woo Swag. And we have thermos and mugs and t-shirts, sweatshirts, bags, books, journals. We have masks, and we have laptop sleeves. So you can check that site. Again, bit.ly/Woo Swag to see what it is that you want exactly and choose your color and your size. And we ask that you stay in touch. So For those of you who've been around for a while, you know that it helps if you register every week, because then you get your email responses telling you who's coming up and what they're talking about, so you're ahead of the game. And you would also, you get the link. So every week we have a different lineup. bit.ly/wake up movement is where you would go. And if you would like to join our Facebook pages, we have 2 of them. One is private. You would need to join and answer some questions and be accepted in, is bit.ly/Woo community. And that's the group. And then we have a public page. You just go to bit.ly/Woo Nation, or you make sure that Woo Nation is uppercase and click like. So we're also on Instagram and YouTube, and we have an email that you can email us, type us a message if you like. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask everybody to unmute themselves and give these 2 wonderful presenters a welcome and a thank you.
Thank you, ladies, for this great
Great day,
presentation.
ladies.
Always a
This was
pleasure to see
so
you, Niamo.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you
So
so
much.
much for
Have a
your
good day.
beautiful
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
your
Thank you for the
insight
wisdom
and
We're
the
keeping her indigo syrup.
the
Raspberry
prayers and for
blueberry. So let's move forward,
Thanksgiving.
everybody.
Cecilia, thank you for your insight. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
This was wonderful. Great day, everybody.
Powerful.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
You are worthy.
We'll definitely be in touch. We'll be in touch. Yes.
Blink for Jesus. Blink for Jesus.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Informative.
Be in touch with me like you said you wouldn't, Shumbe.
I will. Trust me. Just wait. Yes, yes.
Worthy. We are so worthy. We're receivers of worth and value. We have it inside of us. It's dark inside.
No bug.
Yes. And I love the dark. I love these
I
beautiful. Thanks for
dead.
telling us that. We needed to hear that. We don't know that. We don't understand that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I also why it's why